Do you currently lead a remote team? If so, in today's video, we're going to talk about 5 different obstacles that you want to be aware of so that you can ensure that your remote team is healthy and productive. Hi, I'm Barika from Simply Unique Coaching, and I have been leading for over 15 years. I've led more than 18 teams. I've led internationally and also domestically and in a lot of different arenas. And I work with clients from other industries as well. In today's video, what we're going to talk about are some of the obstacles that you want to be aware of, because a lot of us have remote teams. And so as a leader of a remote team, there are going to be some things that you want to know that can get in the way of your team being productive. And also, as a bonus, I'm going to include a 6th tip that you definitely want to stick around for, because you want to ensure that this one is also not an obstacle for you, because a lot of times this may sound like a good thing, but it's actually something that can end up turning on a head and being really bad for your team. So let's get into it. So the first obstacle that can get in the way of your remote team being effective and productive is actually a lack of communication. And that can be a lack of communication either from the top down, maybe from your leadership to you, maybe from you to your team, or maybe from your team to each other, like in between your team members, right? Or even with your team and maybe another department. So we want to know where that is happening so that we can ensure that we fix that for our team, because we don't want our team members to get frustrated with trying to resolve issues or trying to fix problems and not being able to get them done because of ineffective communication. Ineffective communication is definitely going to hinder productivity. So we want to minimize that as much as possible. So the second obstacle that a leader can encounter with having remote teams, and this is something they may not actually think about very much, but is a lack of transfer of knowledge. Because when you are in the same space and you're sharing a physical space with individuals, there are going to be some things that you're going to pick up on just because you're in the same area. However, when you're working from home and you're kind of working in silos, so to speak, sometimes that transfer of knowledge is not going to naturally occur. Like you may have somebody working on something and then another coworker overhears or another team member overhears, and they're like, oh, hey, how did you solve that problem? And they're like, oh, yeah, I just went here and this and that. Now, again, there are ways that it can happen. Maybe they'll ask within whatever communication channels that you have available. But sometimes when you're in that same physical space, that's going to happen a little bit more organically, or it's going to happen in a way that it won't happen remotely, because somebody may figure out a way to solve a problem and then they just think they're the only one with that problem and they kind of may keep it to themselves, but it may be a bigger problem team wide, and that transfer of knowledge is not happening just because they're not in the same physical space. So we want to just make sure that if they find something that's helpful, that they think may be able to help others, that they are encouraged to share it, whether it's in a team meeting, whether it's in an email. And we want to try to make sure we don't have a ton of emails. But anyway, I'm not going to get on that soapbox. All right, let's go to number 3. Now, this one actually can happen on a remote team, but it actually can happen when you have physical teams working together as well. So we want to be just cautious of this as leaders. We don't want to create an us versus them dynamic. We don't want it to be like us here in the corner at home working, or us on our team working. We're different from the leader, like where there's not that, I don't want to say camaraderie, but it's not a point where the team is actually working together, where it's like, hey, we're over here and the leaders are over there, or our leader is over there. Like, we definitely don't want to have that. If we have that, that is actually an unhealthy team dynamic, and we want to get that switched as much as possible. And there are ways around that. So I do have a leadership playlist. Go ahead and check out some of those videos, also some of my shorts, because I go into some of the things that you can do to help if you have a us versus them, like a lack of trust and all of that kind of stuff. All right, let's go on to number 4. Now, this is one I think that's kind of coming out a little bit more, and we saw it kind of somewhat in the pandemic, is a feeling of isolation. Like, we don't want our employees to feel like they're off on the island by themselves and that they don't have any support. I actually was talking to a friend recently who is working from home, and she was having some dynamics where she kind of felt like, there wasn't as much support as she would like to have happen. So we want to be cautious to ensure that our employees are not feeling like they're out there left out to swim, like we just threw them out into the pool or the deep end of the ocean and said, all right, see you later. Kind of thing. We don't want to do that. So we want to build in those opportunities for them to do some team building activities, or just to have that casual chat, that would come if they're in the same space together. That's going to be really important, that they have those relationships built, because you don't want anybody feeling isolated. Now, granted, there are some personality types that actually prefer that. So you need to know your employees, because if they prefer to be off on their own, doing their own thing, and they're cool with it, leave them alone. You might have to say, okay, now sometimes when we have team stuff, you're going to have to engage with the team. But if you prefer to work on your own and you work better on your own, then that's okay as well. And just know some people are wired that way, and that's okay. And the fifth obstacle that we want to keep in mind is that there are actually differences in time zones. So if you have employees working throughout different time zones, there can be some dynamics there where you may have somebody who sends an email 8 o'clock in the morning their time, but it ends up being like midnight another employee's time, right? So we want to make sure that we have some things in place to ensure that the expectations of when communication and responses are happening is happening in a way that's really, really healthy, okay? So people are not expecting, like, I sent her an email and she never got back to me. Well, she's in a whole different country. So she's in a whole different country, so it may take her some time to get back to you, right? So we want to set those realistic expectations and try to mitigate that as much as possible. But now, if you do have your employees all in the same time zone, and let's say there's some dynamics where it's like, okay, work has to be completed within these core business hours, and that's okay. But in some instances, we are having people that we're working with that may be across the different time zones in the country that we're in. So if you're in the US, we have those 4 time zones. We might have more than, we might have 5 anyway, but we have those 4 core time zones. But then if you're working with people overseas, then there are also some dynamics that we want to keep in place. Now let's talk about the bonus obstacle that I wanted to include, and you definitely want to stick around. So before we get into that, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up if you found that it was helpful with the tips. That helps me to know what is going to be helpful in creating content for you, because as I do different research and I think about all of the topics that leaders may be interested in, when I see those thumbs up or those comments, then I know, okay, this is something I should dig a little bit deeper on or make more videos on. I'm a leader, but also a teacher at heart. So it lets me know, okay, this is something that people find helpful. Now let's go into number 6. So the 6th obstacle that a team actually can encounter that can hinder the productivity of their team is actually overworking. And this at one point in time, I was guilty of, but now I am like really, really good because I'm an entrepreneur. So I got to get it done, right? If you have hardworking team members, they might overwork themselves. So you want to be careful to make sure that there is a balance in place so that they are not working to the point where it kind of wears down and they're not getting the rest they need so that they can come back to work refreshed and with brand new mindset and brand new ideas and all of that. So we want to make sure that our employees are feeling as though they can get the rest that they need, that it's okay for them to log off, that it's okay for them to take a step away from work, that it's okay for them to take vacation. Now, granted, if there are deadlines and things of that nature, then we need to address that as such. However, we don't want to have a hustle culture, go, 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 where it wears people down, because that's going to end up depleting the morale and some other negatives can come out of that. So we want to avoid that as much as possible. So now I'm going to ask you, what else do you think can be an obstacle to leading a remote team? And I want you to drop a comment down below. And with that being said, I hope you have a great day. Hopefully you found this video helpful. And again, check out the leadership playlist if you want more leadership tips and strategies. Like I said, I've been leading for over 15 years and I learned by trial and error. So if you can learn what I learned in a shorter period of time, please go ahead and pick my brain or go ahead and watch those videos. All right, guys, with that being said, make it a great day. Take care.